Welcome to my new calculus channel. My name is John Gabriel, and there was a very big response to my previous video with respect to 0 not being a number. So I'll go ahead and address some more of these issues in this video and maybe clear up some of the confusion, because 0 is not a number. So let's begin. Now, remember I showed you this little applet here, and in all cases the product of the blue line, the dark blue line, and the light blue line always give you the length of the red line. In other words, both these line segments measure this long red line segment, and they can be fractions or anything, it doesn't matter, they will always measure this red line segment, which I'll call the product line segment. At the same time, in any case, this red line, the division, in other words, the quotient of this red line and either line will give the other blue line. For example, let's just see an example. Do a little screen check here. So what it's saying is that it's saying that 6 divided by this 2, 6 divided by 2, 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3, which is this line segment here. And also 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2, which is this line segment here. Okay, now let's take away one of the line segments. Let's make that a 0. And so it seems as if the multiplication is still correct, right? Because the multiplication here is this line here, j equals 3. Okay, j equals 3. Let's just make it big. And what happens is, let's make it large, give it the color red, and make the background white. There we go. Now, so j is equal to 3. It's the length of this line here. If we do this, j is 0. But notice that if j is 0, we can't have 0 divided by 0 equal 3. On the other hand, if we had pushed this point here towards the blue point, the same thing would have happened. We would have ended up with this result. 0 divided by 0 equals 2, right? Not possible. You see what I'm saying? So while it almost seems that the geometry is correct, and the geometry doesn't lie, both these line segments here must measure the product line. 0 does not measure the product line unless it is 0. Okay, so from either side, if this was a 4, let's make this a 4, from either side, it will fail, because both line segments must measure the red one, right? Okay, and so why is this the case? Well, very simply this, because, well, before I continue, we know that addition and subtraction are non-operations as far as 0 is concerned. Okay, non-operations as far as 0 is concerned in arithmetic. For example, x plus 0 is equal to x, and x minus 0 is equal to x. In other words, nothing happens. So we only have to worry about division and multiplication. Now, what does this mean here? This here means p divided by 1 over 1 divided by q. Because remember, multiplication is derived from division, not the other way around. Okay, it means that, and it means q divided by 1 over p. Both of these must be true. As you saw in the example, the one with 0 doesn't work. Okay, so if you have 0 divided by 1 over 3, that's going to give you 0. But if you have 3 divided by 1 over 0, you're going to end up with a problem, because you're going to have 0 here, okay? And you cannot divide by 0. So both of these must be true. and hence you cannot do multiplication by 0. It doesn't make sense, even though you sometimes hear somebody saying, well, if x is equal to x, then x times 0 is equal to x times 0 implies 0 is equal to 0. This here is actually nonsense, okay? It's nonsense because you can't multiply by 0. For one thing, you destroy the equation's sense. You effectively change this equation here. So you can't really do any of the arithmetic operations with 0. It just poses as a number, but it's not a number at all. And it got away with being a number because it doesn't really break things too much, except it does break a lot of things. And I show you in chapter on how we got algebra in my free ebook how you can break things with 0, okay? So there are contradictions because 0 is not a true number. It's not a number, basically, period. But it's very useful, and we use it as a placeholder. We use it to convey the meaning of number, especially when we don't carry around templates, radix templates. And it's not even necessary in mathematics, but extremely useful. So I'm not advocating for the removal of 0, but just not calling it what it isn't. In other words, a number. 0 is really just a placeholder. Very well, I hope you've enjoyed this final presentation on 0, and in the next exciting episode or video in my series, What Your Ignorant Teachers Could Not Tell You, I'll reveal many more interesting details. My name is John Gabriel, and this is the New Calculus channel. Till next time, goodbye.